Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we react to RWBY Volume 4, Chapter 4, Family. I am not going to be including the original video in this video, so if you would like to follow along with me, open this video in another tab or another window or do something so you can watch this one and my video at the same time. But yes, you'll have to sync up with this one. Alright, so last time, Chapter 3 of Runaways and Stowaways, I believe it was called. The two most important things that I can remember right now. Okay, three, because I think one more thing just came to mind. One, we see Blake and Sun, get together on the pirate ship. I mean, they just bump into each other again. And Blake is heading to Menagerie, I believe, to see her family. So yeah, Blake and Sun are together. That's cool. Again, just platonically, anyway. And then we see that Yang is still trying to cope with stuff. And she got a sweet new robot arm, or, mechanical arm kind of thing, but she hasn't tried it yet. Like, she's just not quite ready. And then the third thing is, I believe it was in that episode, we see Cinder and Salem, and they're kind of just like, I don't know exactly what was going on. To me, it kind of seemed like Salem was trying to teach Cinder how to, like, kind of control the Grim, in a way. I don't know. By the way, it's been a while since I have last watched RWBY, so forgive me if I need a little catching up myself. I've had computer issues lately, so yeah, if you've noticed that I was absent, that's why. So I'm actually really excited for this episode in particular because it's called Family. And if you didn't know, if you missed my reaction to the end of Volume 3, family kind of means a lot to me. Like, I'm mostly hoping in this one to see more of Yang and RWBY or something to that. I mean, I know that they're separate, like, just by distance in this series so far, or in this volume so far. So I don't really expect too much of that, but I'm hoping for something to do with Yang and quite possibly with RWBY. But there, of course, is the more likely one with Blake, since she was going to Menagerie to see her family, and of course there's also Weiss with her family. I'm expecting rather to see kind of a mix of all three. With it mostly being focused on Blake, and then Yang and Weiss kind of just like little side bits. Not so much RWBY because she's with Juniper, and I guess you could show her with them to be like, hey look, it's kind of like her second family, her adopted team sort of thing. But yeah, I'm just hoping for good stuff here, like a lot of good build up and setting up for the future and that kind of thing, so fingers crossed. I mean, and with that, I don't think I have anything else to say, so with that, let's get to watching. Alright, assuming you guys want to sync this up along with me, I am going to say 3, 2, 1, play, and when I say play, you hit play. So, 3, 2, 1, play. Alright, so we're just back with the intro. Yeah. Okay, cool. Again, it has been a while, so I don't remember too much about this intro, to be perfectly honest. When I say it's been a little while, it's been like 3 weeks since I've last seen a RWBY episode, or something like that. So it's not like forever, but longer than I would have liked, if I'm to be honest. But see, that looks like Blake's family, so... And there's the big baddie of at least this volume. I mean, so far it seems like she's the big baddie of everything. But, like, this volume is really the first time we're getting to see her, right? I mean, we've heard her before in, like, the opening narration and everything, but we never actually got to see who she was until this volume. And I'm just trying to think if there's ever been a build-up that has been like unexplained so far that could hint at another big bad, but so far nothing's coming to mind. Hey, it's Farmer Boy, who we saw once and then never again, and I had no idea what he was doing. Well, I knew what he was doing, I didn't know why though. It was significant. So, how are you, significant young boy? What? Do you not know you? What was that? What do you do? Crap, what did you say? Say it again, I was talking. Oh! Okay, wait. I'm still confused. What was that? So, I mean, like, I knew Ozpin was alive, but is that our big thing? Okay, actually, never mind. This is more important. Hey, look! It's like everything's normal again, despite all the screaming. Oh, look, it's him! Hey, dude. You gonna do something with that sword? Can you not move, Yang? Sweet robot arm. It's pretty awesome. Also, I don't want to be that guy, but her bust looks smaller. Is that just me? Wait, Qrow's wearing a skirt? Why is Qrow wearing a skirt? I want to hear the beginning of this story. Oh. There we go. You're old and have poor balance. She giggled! That was positive! What? Yeah, I mean, it's reasonable. Right. Keep going. True. I actually missed what the whole fuss was about. Like, was it a dirty joke, or? Oh, dude, did you just say that to your daughter? Like, are you even a dad? What? What? She can't have taken that lightly. Doesn't know how to take this. Nah, I'm just not over that yet. She has to, like, go and privately cry or something, or I'm gonna have stuff to complain about. And I know that I just missed all that dialogue. Shh. Acceptance is good. I'm gonna be really serious about this, even though I laughed at your joke just a second ago. Yup. I just feel like I'm supposed to be liking this part a lot more than I actually am. Yeah, that was good. Hey, finally music's back. The mouse part was funny. If I don't say that at the end, I said it now. The mouse part was funny. The rest of that, though, I just don't know. It's more awkward than anything. It's like she's spying on him. I mean, you guys realize she has a scroll you could probably contact her on, right? I mean... Ah. Thanks. This is true. Don't say that. Uh-oh. Is he just following them, keeping them safe? Hmm. He has fantastic hearing. In. Not like good guy Uncle Qrow. Thanks. Well, that was weird. I mean, there are only so many people that we know so far with red eyes. Take a seat. Yeah, title of the episode. Bottom shelf. Ruby Silver Eyes? Not Ruby Silver Eyes. Salem, Salem, what then? And what's the it? Stop playing the pronoun game. I need answers. That is impressive. Leadership position. Also, are both those black bits her hair? Yeah, she has it separated, okay. What's the relic, guys? I don't understand why you're such a bad person. I just don't get it. Like, you expect him to give you a relic? You're not even gonna give him a piece of information? Also, is teleporting not known in that world? I can understand being surprised, but I don't know about being, like, gasping, dropping the drink, and then having your knees shake. Unless that's, like, a dark thing, but, you know. Hey, it's a robot arm! That didn't take long, did it? I kind of thought it would have, like, attached to that brass, bronze, whatever nub thing that she had, but no. Hey, look! It's the ending! And I actually watched the YouTube version this time because I was late, and so I didn't, like, watch the roosterteeth.com version, and so it's gonna be the shorter credits. But here they are, they're just blasting through them right now, and yeah. All these things. Rooster Teeth animation, and it's suddenly over, so let's talk about this episode, shall we? Alright, first things first, let's talk about, that whole conversation that Ty was having with the other two with the two professors, and then Yang walked in, and then they had that kind of heartwarming thing, quote unquote, because I didn't like that part. It didn't make sense to me. First off, no, Ty first never should have made the joke about losing her arm, because that's a terrible thing for a father to do to his daughter in a position like that, you know? Second, since he did do it, Yang should not have reacted like that. Like, I just can't believe that she would find that funny after having recurring nightmares about it. And we see her just barely waking up from said, you know, one of said nightmares. And then to, like, all of this, okay, so basically Yang right now, we see her going through all of this depression and all of this anxiety, all this fear, you know, this PTSD kind of stuff over her losing her arm. And so then to insult her with that included, like, I get that Yang has always been that kind of snarky personality, that sense of humor, and I'm sure that her dad has it too, as we see, but just with that particular bit of information, just like that particular topic, I feel like should have been way more sensitive than it was. Like, it should have been treated with far more care. And because it wasn't, because he said that line and because she reacted the way she did, I was just not in that scene at all. Like, I was removed from it. I did not buy into it. And then on top of that, the scene that followed had no music. It was just silence aside from like the chirping of crickets. And so I just found it more awkward than anything. Like, if it had some kind of, I guess that kind of like heartwarming sort of music, you know, that you'd get during those kind of like deep, personal, but also inspirational scenes, like, then maybe it would have been a little bit better. But for me, after having first been like shut off by, you know, him making that joke and her actually responding positively to it, and then that scene, it just, yeah. Not to mention in that scene, again, there was that bit of like, I won't say it was contradictory, but Yang acted out contrary, where she was like, well, what's that supposed to mean? This isn't normal, you know, or whatever. And it's just like, oh, so now you're gonna get up in arms about it? That was not intentional. It's just that whole scene, the scene did not work for me, and it's so disappointing because that should have been such a big, like, turning point in Yang's current character development. You know, from the results of, you know, the end of Volume 3 to now. Like, first, I think it's a little early to have a change like that if they're going to postpone the change at all. But second, just the way that it went, since it was supposed to be such a big thing, and I didn't like it, I didn't buy into it, it's terrible for me. You know, for those of you who did like it, who thought it was the best piece of work, you know, fantastic, I'm happy that you're happy, but it did not work for me, and it's very disappointing because that was one of the things I was most excited about, was watching Yang overcome that hurdle. And granted, it's not that she's like completely over it yet. She just barely tried on the arm, but yeah, just everything leading up to it, it didn't work for me. So, yeah. Alright, before I forget now, let's go back to Farmer Boy thing. We heard Ozpin. That was a thing. Was Ozpin in the... I didn't see if there was a reason why the boy was so, like, thoroughly scrutinizing himself in the mirror, or was he scrutinizing the mirror itself? Like, did he see an image of Ozpin flicker in the back or something that I missed? Or was his hair just wrong? I don't know. I don't know if he was, like, for a second I thought when he scratched his head or whatever that he was a faunus who was, like, hiding his ears under his hair or something, and he was, I don't know. But then when Ozpin spoke, it's just like, oh, alright, this is it! And it's the kind of thing where I never thought that Ozpin was, like, dead, you know? I just don't think they would kill him off camera, and just all the fuss about him being dead, it can't be true. I just figure it's not true, and this, I think, really confirms it. Of course, it doesn't necessarily have to, but I already believed that he was alive, and so hearing this just cements that in my mind. But it was such a weird thing. I feel like it was such a weird way to introduce that fact, though, because we don't even know who this boy is. I still don't know. This is the second scene he's appeared in, and I still have no idea who he is or why he's important. I don't know why Ozpin would, like, do that. If I have to make some random connection off the top of my head just now, it would be because in the story of, like, the spring, fall, the seasonal maidens, or whatever they were called, you know, the wizard dude lived on, like, alone on a farm kind of thing. Was it a farm? It wasn't even a farm, was it? No, like, because they helped him plant crops and stuff. I don't remember, but he lived alone. Maybe that's the home from the story, and Ozpin is there because he is the old wizard. I don't know, that's like such a stretch, but that's just the only connection I can really make right now. So just having something like Ozpin's reappearance, or the fact that he's alive, be, you know, like, mentioned, I don't know how to phrase it, with this random dude that I still know nothing about, it just seems odd. I can't make any connections, and I can't even speculate all that much, so I don't bloody know. Let's move on now to Qrow. I don't have much to say about Team Junior. What are they called again? Ranger. Ranger now, right? It was between Junior and Ranger. I think it's Ranger. Anyway, I don't have much to say about them. It's like, yay, they're still together. They're going. The most important part about that for me was Qrow following them. You know, like I said, good Uncle Qrow. Like, just going, following them, keeping them safe and everything. I will say real quick on that note that I am not sure what Qrow's semblance actually is, because I was inclined to think that he actually could, like, turn into a crow, and that's how he was, like, surveilling people and getting around so quickly and everything. And that still could be the case. However, it seems like that theory is a bit shaken when we actually see Qrow standing next to a crow, and then the crow flies out over Team Ranger, and, you know, we still see him standing there on the mountainside, or the cliff or whatever. So it still is totally possible that he could turn into a crow himself, but I don't know, like, because that didn't deconfirm it, it just didn't confirm it. Like, I think it put more things into question. But anyway, moving on from that, again, it was good to see him, like, in the inn, a few away, where you could still see through the windows, you know, to Team Ranger. Those are convenient windows lined up perfectly for him to get that view, but that aside, you know, it was good for him to be there. I like Qrow, and I like what they're doing with him in this series so far. I didn't really love how they had the whole conversation with Raven, because it just didn't make much sense to me, you know, because it's just like, are we supposed to like Raven? I mean, like, she's cool, but we're not supposed to like her, are we? Because she's kind of she's a bad person, she seems, you know, like, she's very selfish is what it sounds like, and she says she's doing it for, like, the good of her tribe or whatever, that Qrow and she were apparently part of initially, but that he left. But then so were they both still a part of it when they were at school together? Because they seemed like they were fine when they were on a team, you know, the 4-person team, Stark. But now they're clearly not in on great terms with each other. How long has it been since they last saw each other? I don't know. What's this relic they were talking about the Salem might have? I don't know. And then she won't tell him where the Spring Maiden is? Like, why not? Do you not realize that, you know, the bad guys getting hold of Spring Maiden might also be bad for you and your tribe? Like, I get that maybe they would want to just throw back the, you know, what we are you talking about, or whatever kind of line that, you know, Qrow initially said, because you get that ironic twist on it. Oh, but just for that, I don't know. It just seems like, oh, let's see how douchey we can make Raven here, and so I don't like her. And then again too, with her leaving through the portal, where it was just like, and then the waitress. Okay, first off, the waitress, she totally wanted Qrow. Like, got you one from the top shelf? Okay, I mean, Qrow is good looking, so I'll give you that, but it's like, is that really the best thing you have to do tonight, ma'am? Is that the best thing you have? Anyway, I mean, I guess probably is. Anyway, no, aside from that, her being scared with Raven leaving through the portal was just kind of weird to me, because again, in this world of hunters and huntresses and Grimm and all of this crazy stuff with, like, you know, magical dust and the semblances and everything, I just feel like that would not be the most shocking thing you'd ever see, unless that particular thing, like, indicates something else. Like, if that's that color or that portal is the sign of badness related to this, maybe the tribe is known for being bad or something, and she connected it, or the dark powers, I don't know. It just, like, if that's not the case, it seems weird that the waitress would have as, like, strong a reaction as she did. So, yeah. Thinking back over the episode, I don't really think there's anything else I want to talk about. I mean, everything else at the end, you know, including getting the new arm, that kind of just, it goes back to where I'm disappointed, because I was really looking forward to that, you know, little subplot. And I did not like I don't like how it's being resolved so far, like, at all. I don't like how it's being resolved at all, really, because it just didn't work for me. Just him saying that and her laughing about it, and then them having that talk, which to me was all contrary, and then the fact that it had no music, so it was just kind of awkward. I don't know. And again, I'm sure some people really loved it, and for those of you who did, that's awesome. Go you. Keep on enjoying it. But yeah, I definitely see why this episode was called Family. It did not focus on Blake's family. It actually did focus more where I wanted it, on Yang, but I'm disappointed by how it actually turned out, so oh well. We'll just have to wait and see what happens next time. So yeah, with that, let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments below, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, what you thought about this or that, or the things that I talked about. You don't have to agree with me, but if you disagree, realize that you don't have to be defensive. We can just have civil discussions about things if you so desire, you know? I mean, if you want to talk about something that's in, like, direct disagreement with something I've said, that's fine. Just don't, like, yell at me for it, okay? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, with that, we're calling it here. Cue outro, go!